Hello and welcome to episode 20 of my Media Museum's 45 RPM vinyl records collection, mixed box number 11. And I'm thrilled to have you with me today. We're starting on the B side on this time just because I figured that title is a better starting title. It's The Fortunes, Here It Comes Again. And here I come again with another episode of vinyl to share with you. So the actual A side of that was still The Fortunes, but it's a song, You Got Your Troubles, which is not a song I'm familiar with. Rings a bell for me for another artist, but not for The Fortunes. And it hit number 7 in September of 65 apparently, and I kind of blazed right by this one and didn't note that Here It Comes Again hit number 27 in November of 65. So we're going back a few years there. Next up, we've got Lloyd Price doing a song called Stagger Lee. I don't know it, doesn't ring any bells, even though it apparently was a number 1 hit in January of 1959. But that's a little for my time. And Lloyd Price nor Stagger Lee is there for me. But looks like Lloyd Price had a couple of hits because he hit number 2 with a song called Personality in May of 59. So good old Lloyd Price there had him a couple of entries on the charts, if not more. But at least both the songs on that one hit the charts according to the notations we were given. All right, so this is that I showed these off in the last episode, so I'm not going to cover those too much again. But this is the one I see the least of is this particular collectible sleeve, at least from what I've came across. Ike and Tina Turner, A Fool in Love. At least I have heard of these individuals. Definitely more familiar with Tina Turner's work, especially her stuff in the 80s, than with Ike, or their work together in the 60s. This is notated as hitting number 27 on the charts in October of 1960, so I'm pretty sure Ike and Tina Turner, I don't know when they came out, when they got together, but it was, I thought, later 60s, so going all the way back apparently to as early as 1960, so maybe they even went back to the 50s. But a number of songs from them hit the charts over the years. We've got It's Gonna Work Out Fine. Nice positive title. I like that. But hit number 14 in September of 61. And still again, it's not a song that rings any bells for me, but at least I do know the artist there. Next one up is one that I do actually know the song and the artist, so score! Jerry Lee Lewis with Breathless, and I'm pretty positive I've got an original print of this one somewhere in my collection, but it never hurts to have a nice reissue when it looks so beautiful. I mean, it looks like the day they made it. Just nice looking print here, and my original copy of this isn't probably as nice. Not this nice. This one was 1984 on the licensing. That doesn't necessarily mean that's when this platter was put out, but that's when Sun International licensed it to collectibles for them to print it and resell it again. So B side of this particular one is Bill Justice. So here's one where we've got two different artists on the different sides, and it's a song called Raunchy, which I don't recognize, but it hit number 2 in November of 57, so there's bound to be somebody out there that recognizes this song and remembers it. Hopefully it brings back some fond memories for you. But yeah, Bill Justice I've never heard of, and the song Raunchy rings no bells. You'll notice there's not an A side notated or a B side notated on this one. They're just calling it a back-to-back hits. I guess you get to pick what you think's an A and a B side. For me, it would clearly be Jerry Lee Lewis being the A side, because that's the artist that I know. And he hit number 7 with Breathless in March of 58. I don't think I read that off while we were looking at them. Next up, we've got Chad and Jeremy. Whoever Chad and Jeremy were, they hit number 7 in September of 64 with A Summer Song. That sound kind of seems familiar, a summer song. I might just know that one. It is noted as the A-side as well. A lot of the time the A-sides are more well known but on these collectible reissues, but not necessarily. Some of the B-sides I've known better than the A-sides, so you just never know for sure. Chad and Jeremy, though, got the B-side on this one too with a song called Willow Weep for Me. And hit number 15 in December of '64 with that one. Very interesting. Francis Day and Hunter LTD. Yeah. So, next up, hey, here's another band I have heard of, the Capris. I am familiar with the Capris. There's a Moon Out Tonight. Hit number 3 in January of '61. I could almost try and sing that one, but I'm not going to because I'd probably be wrong. But There's a Moon Out Tonight by the Capris is definitely ringing some kind of a bell for me back in the back of my mind. And the B-side, song called Indian Girl. Yeah, interesting. No notations on there of years or anything, but it is marked as the B-side. So at least you've got a second Capri song there. And not familiar with that one at all. So, next up, well, we got us a nice cool little wax track price tag there. At some point somebody paid good money, $250, to acquire this reissue of Barbara George doing I Know You Don't Love Me No Mo. And I don't know that song. Definitely wouldn't have paid $250 for it. I wonder if it was the guy that I got these off of paying $250 for it, but somebody did. And it hit number 3 in December of '61. So hopefully that rings the bell for somebody out there. And the B-side is somebody else. Dave Dudley. I almost said Dudley Moore. Would have been way off. Dave Dudley, 6 Days on the Road. Sounds like a country song. Might just be. No telling when you don't know. But it hit number 32 in July of '63. Next up, we've got a really cool sounding title, even though it's not by anyone I've ever heard of before. But Count 5 doing Psychotic Reaction. That one sounds like it might be for upbeat, fast-paced. Who knows? But I like this courtesy of K-Tel International. But it was Hot Shot Music. So K-Tel was probably still holding the rights from Hot Shot when Collectibles approached them. So that's why you've got the double notation there. K-Tel still was licensed for this song, but they allowed it to be relicensed, kind of like subletting your back room, I guess, or something like that. But that's not something that was rare or uncommon in the musical industry either, for someone to license a song and then relicense it again to somebody else for a movie or a TV show or who knows what. But Psychotic Reaction, I like that title. That sounds pretty cool. And the B-side, of course, is not the same band. It's the Pastel 6. Again, another courtesy of K-Tel, which doesn't surprise me because on the same vinyl, they're going to take advantage of the fees they've already paid. You'll notice that's all Grace Music, so it's a different holder, but the same licensor that Collectibles was paying. That Cinnamon Cider hit number 25 in January of 1963. Interesting. Again, not something I'm familiar with. So, next up, hey, we're getting away from the collectibles, even though I still got a collectible sleeve here for it. We've got a Brunswick, which always makes me think of the bowling, Brunswick bowling. I think they made bowling balls, but they had bowling alleys for sure, if they didn't make balls. But Jackie Wilson, Talk That Talk. Hit number 34 in January 1960, and then we've got it copyrighted and licensed in 72 and 83 by Brunswick. So, it is noted as there we go, we've got the collectible, so it is still a collectible. See, I almost missed that. That's interesting how they really promoted the Brunswick there. and it's got the star, which usually designates the A side, which this is noted as being the A side. It'd be interesting when we flip it over to see if it's got a star on that side too. And it does, so that's probably just a part of Brunswick's logo, is that big star, and it wasn't actually notating anything for any DJs, which just wasn't being sold to the DJ market anyways. Not that DJs couldn't have bought stuff off of collectibles for their shows, but or the radio. But this wasn't catering to the radio market, or I'm not so much sure about maybe personal DJs for parties and things. But yeah, these were made mostly for jukeboxes. Hit number 8 in October 1960 with Alone at Last. And you'll notice that that's Jackie Wilson. And the other side was also Jackie Wilson. So at least we've got the same artist on both sides there. Probably made that licensing a little easier, a little cheaper. So now we've got an Eric Records. But you're going to find this interesting, or I find it interesting anyways, that it's a Brunswick. So here is a reissue on Eric Records of a Brunswick holding title, and the last one was a collectibles reissue from Brunswick. But it's Barbara Acklin doing Love Makes a Woman. Hit number 15 in August of 1968. But there again, not something I'm familiar with or that I know well enough to hum. B-side is a different artist. It is Young Holt Unlimited with Soulful Strut. And even though they say that hit number 3 in June of 68, it's not something that comes to mind to me when I hear the title. I'd never heard of Young Holt Unlimited, and Soulful Strut doesn't ring any bells for me. So neither do the writers here, Eugene Record and Sonny Sanders. Nope, nothing, just a blank. So, yeah. Anyways, we're going to wrap this episode 20 up here with an Atlantic Golden Oldies series, Cool Jerk by the Capitals. And that hit number 7 in May of 66. And that one rings a lot of bells. Again, I'm not going to try and sing it for you, but I do think I may very well be familiar with that song. And the B-side, again, is someone else. Even though it's Atlantic, it just goes to show you on these reissues that lots of companies would do different artists on the different sides. And this one's got Dion Jackson doing Love Makes the World Go Round. Hit number 11 in February of 66 with that one. So, hope you enjoyed that, and come on back and see us again for part 21.